Good morning. Welcome to the Wisdom Thought and a Cigar channel. Today is September 22nd, first day of fall. And I woke up with some things in my mind this morning about things that we all can learn from with the Puff Daddy situation. I'm sure you guys have all heard that he has been arrested and he is currently in jail right now. And actually, this is his first weekend in jail. Oh, what he must be going through to have lived that lavish lifestyle over 20-something years, and then you're confined in probably a 13 by 13 cell. How do I know that? Because I used to work in a jail, prison, and I used to work in a county jail, city jail, and a prison. So I know how it operates, and for him to be dealing with that's got to be tough on him mentally. But anyway, I thought about his situation, and I'm not here to badge him of the alleged allegations that's against him, what he's been being indicted for. That's not up for me to do. But I did think about him in a way to where we can all learn something from his situation. As I think back on my life, I've learned a lot of things to navigate me through the world by observing other people's choices and seeing where their choices will lead them to. And when I would analyze where they are now and how they got there, it would tell me, okay, that's the path to take, or that's the path not to take. But I think we can learn a lot from Diddy's situation in terms of learning how we can expand our lives and keep growing to a place to where we can invite peace and tranquility in our lives. Now, recently, I came across this Bible verse, Corinthians 13:11. Now, by all means, I'm not a religious person. Right now, it's Sunday. Right now, I'm not at church. I don't go to church. So, I'm just going to be real with you. But I came across this Bible passage, Corinthians 13:11, where it says, I once spoke like a child, thought like a child, acted like a child, but when I became a man, I put childish things aside. I think that in Diddy's situation, this would apply because this man is 54 years of age, and now he is sitting in a jail cell for some alleged acts that all have a sexual basis for them. Now, let me tell you something. As we get older as men, the urges for sex starts to decrease. It's not that we don't want it, it's that we got other shit to do, okay? To be focusing on chasing some girl or some woman to get her out of her drawers. Okay, real men are always about their business, and you won't find them in the clubs. You won't find them always being, that person who's hounding a woman. They're pretty much kind of settled and chilled. Diddy is 54, and he's in jail for alleged sex allegations, sex trafficking, making people having sex against their will, whatever. What blows my mind, and going back to that verse, I was once thought like a child, spoke like a child, act like a child, but when I became a man, I put childish things aside. I don't think the brother put childish things aside, because sex parties, really? sex parties. You got kids to raise. You have empires to run. But you're busy having sex parties. Now, he is supposed to be a record executive mogul, right? And he had his hands in other stuff. The alcohol business, of course, the record business, fashion and all that. It's kind of like, dude, you kind of busy, okay, to keep that empire going. And it comes to mind of the record executives in the past, like Clyde Davis. You never heard of Clyde Davis doing anything of such. Well, maybe he may have indulged, but it's not out there. Berry Gordy from Motown, record executive. You never heard of Berry Gordy getting into such cliches. Um, uh, let's go with L.A. and Babyface. You never heard them getting into shit like that. Even Freaky Prince, rest his soul. You never heard even Prince getting involved in such activities as Mr. Combs has. And you know what? I did a little digging. I don't want to call him P. Diddy. I'm calling him by his government name, Sean Combs, because that's his government name. Okay, Sean Combs, as you know him as P. Diddy. You know, if you trace it back, he comes from a lineage of hustling. His daddy's name is Melvin Combs, and he lost his father in 1972 when he was just 2 years old. His father was an Air Force veteran, and he had an affiliation with the big-time drug dealers back in New York. We're talking about Frank Lucas. We're talking about Nicky Barnes. He was shot in a car in West Harlem in 1972. Story goes is that he was mistaken for a police informant, so they took him out. So from that point on, Diddy was raised by his mom, Janice Combs, and he was put into an all-boys school. Now, Diddy was raised as a Catholic, and he was also, get this, and you will never believe this, an altar boy. Yes, it is documented in Google, and I know you shouldn't believe everything you see on the internet, but it's documented that he was an altar boy. He was raised Catholic, and he went to an all-boys school. So, with the allegations of him being bisexual, I'll let you connect the dots. That's all I'm going to say about that. But the real point that I really want you to get out of this video right here is that when you look at Sean Combs, I want you to look at a 54-year-old man who has allegedly put some pain on some people. And I'm not talking about just physically. I'm talking about emotionally, spiritually also. You know, if these allegations are true of the things that he did to individuals, there are some lives out there that are destroyed. And, you know, the thing of it is, I'm a strong believer in karma. You cannot inflict pain and don't think it's going to come back on you one kind of way. You know, it's going to come back to you. It's just like you going to the beach and you throw, let's say, an empty Coke can or beer can or whatever, aluminum can, into the ocean. Those waves are going to bring that can back to shore. So whatever energy you put out, whatever you do to people, how you treat people, will come back to you. This is why they always say, you treat people with respect and you be courteous because you want that to come back to you. But going back to Corinthians 13:11, and like I said, I'm not a religious person. I'm not here to preach. I think the brother did not put away childish things and did not become the man that he could potentially be. I think if these allegations are true, he was still acting like the boys that we were when we were in our 20s. Okay? Now, if you were in your 20s and you were doing all the stuff that he's been alleged to do now, I'm not talking about hurting people. I'm talking about just the sexual parties and all that. Hey, who's to say that I wouldn't indulge, you wouldn't indulge? We were in our 20s. We were wild. We didn't know a lot about life. We didn't have a lot to risk. But this man had built an empire, and he had kids, and you continued to do the things that pretty much a child would do. Now, on this channel here, I don't like to say that everybody makes mistakes, because that's kind of a cliche. To me, a mistake is 2 + 2 is 7. That's a mistake. Okay, 2 + 2, if I say 2 + 2 is 7, I made a mistake. But I do think that people make choices. You either make good choices, positive choices, or you either make bad choices or negative choices. And so when people try to brush things off, and I'm sure there's some people say, well, they should let Diddy go because everybody makes mistakes. Well, what he made was not a mistake. He made choices. And the choices he made are not 2 + 2 = 7. Okay, he made choices. So anyway, I just think that what we can learn from this situation is, whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, always know that there's some things you're going to have to leave behind, and you're going to have to be able to come into your what's the word I'm looking for? The self. Hold on, I gotta relight my cigar. Okay, I got my cigar relit again. So what I was saying was that you have to learn to put away the things that you may have enjoyed in your younger years, in order for yourself to blossom into the person that you want to be. In terms of, when I say want to be, I'm talking about wanting to be, wanting to expand yourself, wanting to grow yourself, wanting to reach your potential, whatever that may be. So we can learn from the situation that everyone needs to learn to put away things that were fun at one time, but could now become a detriment to how you go forward in your life, if that makes sense. So let's learn from his situation as to always to keep growing, to keep expanding, to reach a point to where we are not going to be stuck. And I think, in my opinion, from all the bits of information I'm getting, I think that even though Sean Puffy Combs has achieved a great deal of success, I think mentally he was still kind of stuck of where he came from, because he appears to have that hustler mentality like his dad, and he just seems like he has not grown up. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that situation. What are your thoughts? I just think I'm just here trying to give wisdom and thoughts, and I'm just smoking my cigar. But let's learn from his situation. Let's not judge him. And let's pray for his children, because his children are innocent in all this, and they don't deserve this. So anyway, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't like the video, or you have something that you disagree with, put in the comments. If you agree with it, put in the comments. Anyway, It is Sunday. It's a beautiful fall day. And I'm going to finish up the cigar. Take care.